right, Nick. So we both watched Devilman Crybaby. We watched it separately, interestingly enough, in different rooms, not like planning to finish at the same time. And then we just did. Like,
we just did.
My episode finished, and my last episode finished. Then you just came down and went, oh,
and
that episode. And I was like, I know.
So yeah, so we finished Devilman Crybaby in one sitting, basically.
Yeah.
Day of release. You watched a couple episodes the
night I was on Netflix refreshing.
Okay.
And waiting for it to release, and then I realized, oh, it's coming out on midnight Pacific time, and so then I waited 3 hours, started refreshing again, started watching at 3:02, watched 2 episodes, and then went to sleep because it was like 4 in the morning, and we had to go to work in the morning.
Wow. So obviously you were the first one to watch it. So what were just watching those first 2 episodes? What was like?
I liked it from the start.
Right from the start.
From the start, and I follow a lot of people on Twitter who are like interested in, old anime stuff.
Right.
And so I was seeing their reactions too, and a lot of them were skeptical. Mm-hmm. They were saying, "Oh, Akira is too much of a pansy. He's way more of a pansy than he was in the comics or any other adaptation." And he was, but I didn't see that as a problem. They also said that there are some changes from the manga. They said this was going to be an adaptation of the manga, and it's definitely, it definitely is. Like they changed things, but all the changes were to either modernize it or to make the story more coherent. And I approve on all of those changes. Okay. So what were your thoughts going into this?
Well, especially going into the first 2 episodes, I was very definitely the animation was something that I had to get used to really quickly, just because I have such fond memories of the OVAs and how old, and I don't know, that it was just
Rio, what the fuck?
Yeah, Rio, what the fuck? I don't give a shit. Some like, those kind of lines. And but I, like you said, I think first episode I quickly got immersed into it, and I was just like, I like the pacing. The pacing was great.
Yes.
Like it didn't feel rushed, it didn't take too slow, it got all the points across quick.
Yes, and that's something that I can say because as everyone makes fun of the OVAs for having that goofy dub where they threw in a bunch of curse words because they wanted to sell it to adults.
And the Devilman voice.
Do you ever read a book by Dante? I think they got British people to dub it.
Right. Yeah, they did.
So they all sound weird and they curse a bunch. But the thing is that as goofy as that dub is, those OVAs, the first 2 OVAs, are true to the manga. Yeah. Like that's like straightforward what the manga is.
Right.
The OVAs took some liberties. But that is close to the manga, and I thought it was interesting that the anime changed things, and that did so to, like you said, speed up the pacing. Like something they don't even mention in this is that Akira gets his Devilman powers because he wears a stone mask.
Right.
If like in JoJo's, Rio's father's an archaeologist who has this ancient stone mask from South America.
Yeah. And
if you wear it, you become a demon. It's that's where obviously Hirohiko Araki got the inspiration from. A lot of manga artists were fans of Go Nagai.
Yep.
But the stone mask thing is completely thrown out in this.
Yeah.
And it's they do it so that they can skip over that scene that really slows everything down, where he takes Akira to his house and he puts on the mask and he sees visions of the demon world. And at the time when you're seeing that scene, you're not totally understanding what's happening, so it kind of feels like weird filler. And then they have the long chase scene where they're just fighting endless monsters that seem like they're coming from nowhere.
Right.
And then it goes into the Sabbath scene, which is where you really start to understand what's happening, where he's Devilman. And so by taking out that whole thing with the mask, they really streamlined the story. Yeah. And I really like that. And I was skeptical of it because I'm like, that's kind of a big part of Devilman is, that's where do the demons come from? But they just making it so that like, oh, they are on Earth and they are invoked into malicious humans. Right. I was totally okay with that once I saw where the series was going.
Yeah. Yeah, I understood that. It was definitely a relief, like you said, how the series started up, because I'm not sure if you've seen the 70s series, and that's basically how it starts up is basically what is it? Akira's dad is basically killed in the first like 2 minutes of the 70s show. So to see, I thought I was expecting that coming in.
Okay.
And it didn't happen. So I was quickly like, now I'm wondering like, okay, where are his parents? Like, are they dead? Are they coming back?
Because that is from the manga where they're away. They're just said to be away, and he's living with the Makimuras.
Okay.
Because they're traveling the world.
Because I haven't read the manga, like the original manga, so I was going in fresh.
Yeah, so you've only seen the Have you seen the 80s OVAs?
Which ones are they?
The ones with the goofy dubs.
Yeah, the goofy dubs. I've seen those ones, yeah.
Yeah, so those are pretty close to the manga. They do change things that I'm going to bring up. Because it's interesting that there were changes that they made for the OVA that they carried over into this.
Okay. What were some examples?
And the one that I thought was really good, and I said this on Twitter, Jinmin, who was the monster. In this, Jinmin was actually like, spoilers, I guess. I won't say the spoiler. I won't say the spoiler. Okay. But he fights the demon Jinmin, who's like a turtle demon. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah.
He's a turtle demon. But see, in the manga, when he fights Jinmin, it's interesting because a chapter before he fights Jinmin, they introduce this new character who's this 8-year-old girl named, I think her name is Sachiko. It might be Sachie, but I think it's Sachiko. Okay. They call her Sachan. And basically, they just introduce her like the chapter before, and they're like, "It's Sachan, that 8-year-old girl who's super nice and everyone likes." And then next chapter, it's like, Sachiko didn't come home last night. Where did she go? And then it turns out she was eaten by Jinmin, and he's like, Akira's like, "No, how could you do this to Sachiko?" A change they made for the OVA is that Akira's mother had gone missing. She had gone missing before the events of the OVA, and when he finds Jinmin, he finds out that Jinmin had eaten his mother.
Okay.
Because his mother was exploring the ruins where they found the mask.
Yeah.
She was exploring Antarctica where they had found some demon relics.
Yeah.
Basically. And she had been eaten by Jinmin. And so instead of Sachiko appearing on the shell and being like, basically like taunting Akira psychologically almost, saying like, "I just want to die" and stuff.
Yeah.
It was his mother. And I thought that was a lot more impactful than this girl they introduced a chapter before.
Yeah. So, they didn't have her.
No, they didn't have Sachiko in this show at all. They were just like, it's his mother because that is more emotionally impactful.
Yes.
And I was totally on board with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I definitely knew right away when she was coming into the show and she was on that plane. At first, because, again, I didn't see the material, I thought she had transformed into a demon. But now that you bring up him, and she being on the back and whatnot, it was a very big emotional impact, I think.
Yes.
Towards Akira. I thought it was a little too short. I thought it maybe could have gone on just a little bit longer to expand on it.
I can get that, yeah, actually.
Because I felt like it was just like a lot of tension and then it just like quickly just went away.
Well, it's funny because in the manga even, they do fight a little bit. Like, Jinmin breathes fire on him. And he stands there in the flames for a while, and Jinmin keeps breathing fires and taunting him and saying, you're gonna let yourself burn to death." And then Akira's like, "No, I'm just enduring this because I want to experience pain as punishment for not being able to save them." So they have like a bit of a fight and a bit of exchange.
Yeah.
But they moved that away for the emotional stuff with his parents, which I thought was fine. But you were right; it does make things go a lot quicker.
It's very quickly, and I think that's another thing too. It's probably like a nitpick I'd have with the entire series altogether, and it's very small. But the fights are very, very quick.
Yes,
it's. I feel like every single scene is he just comes in and just rips them, and that's it. That's the end of the fight. It's not like taunting. It's not like some strategy goes into it. Which the '70s series is a lot of strategy. It's always you got to figure it out. But him, it's just nope. Just get out of my fucking way.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I haven't seen the '70s series, so we need to make up for what each other haven't seen.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the '70s series, but I know, in the manga, the fights do go on longer.
Okay.
And I thought it was interesting because I didn't reread the manga for this.
Yeah.
But I feel like the fight with Cyrene, where she and that other guy are like fighting together and they combine and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that was them taking two different fights and combining them, because I know there's the guy who he fights. It's when Miki's in the bathtub.
The water dude.
He's original to this series, but in the manga she's in her own bathroom.
Oh yes,
she's in her own bathroom, and the monster attacks her. And I don't think that Cyrene was there in the manga. I think that they added her, but I really liked that. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that they combined two fights together, and even then, it's pretty short.
It was short,
and it's like the longest fight in
one of the manga
in this series.
Yeah, it was. The Siren fight was one of the longest fights.
Yeah,
yeah. Everything after that is a half episode, a full episode. I mean, Siren, I think, was what, 2 episodes? long. I mean, it wasn't 2 episodes long, the fight, but like the arc, I guess you could say.
Well, she was showing up from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So she's showing up in her human form at least.
Right.
So they did build her up a bit. At least I thought so.
Yeah.
I'd be very curious to see what someone who has no knowledge of Devilman thinks. And I think a lot of people who haven't seen Devilman will watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think they're not going to watch it day one like we did, but I'm going to be very interested in the coming days to see what they thought.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because we've had exposure to Devilman before. We kind of know what we're going into. But I mean, what would you think of someone going into the show not having seen anything of Devilman? Like, do you think there's anything that's going to turn them off? Anything that like they really enjoy compared to like anime like now?
Well, so something I think is interesting is that Devilman has always been, I think with maybe like the 70s show isn't like this, but once he did the manga, and from the manga, because the manga came after the anime,
right? Yeah.
So once he did the manga onwards, it became very exploitative, where he was. I know Go Nagai was basically told like, you know, they told him, well, anime is done for younger kids, but you know the average manga reader, and this was in the 70s, you know, anime is usually around younger kids, like 7 to 10, and then mangas were like maybe like 10 to 16, 15, 16. So they're like, well, it's for a little bit of an older audience, so you can put more, we want you to make it a little bit darker, but here are like your guidelines of what you can and can't do. And according to an interview he did when he judged this art contest a couple of years ago, someone asked him about it, like why he decided to put all that, you know, why he tried to push the envelope with gore and violence and nudity, and he just said, they told me what I couldn't do, so I wanted to see how far I could go and get away with it. So it's interesting that So it's interesting that Devilman is very exploitative. It's very much like an exploitation movie. It's made to be violent and just action-packed and have a bunch of sex in it. But in this show, it's not really exploitative. It's not like, look at this hot chick nude. Yeah. It's like, or look at these hot lesbians and everyone's doing drugs and it's so cool and all the violence is cool. It's very unnerving. The violence makes you go, oh my, it doesn't make you go, yeah, that was so cool. It makes you go, oh my God, that's awful. Like, and it's crazy because like even someone like, I feel like we watch things that are like just action shows that are stupid and violent. Like like Hellsing.
Hellsing is a good example.
Yeah, where it's just like bloody and gory and it's just like, yeah, that's cool.
But when you watch that, it's a different feel than watching Devilman.
With this Devilman thing, it's like, oh my God, he lost his arm and like two people showing the way it's animated and drawn, seeing two people have sex, it's very unnerving. You feel uncomfortable.
It is.
Like
I don't know.
It's not like you're watching like some fan service ecchi show. It's like, oh man, I shouldn't be watching this. I shouldn't be seeing this.
It does. It makes me feel like a young kid. Like I shouldn't have had access to the show. Someone should have locked the account. But yeah, it's something with the art style, which we've mentioned. I don't know if we mentioned, but the people that did Ping Pong, the animation.
Yes, it's the guy who did Ping Pong, and I had to look into him because I was like, because we both saw Ping Pong too, and we both really liked that show. Yeah, it's very dramatic, and that seems to be what he does. Like, he's done a couple other shows that people talk up and say are very good. I haven't seen them myself though. So like Ping Pong was my only frame of reference, and I was like, well, that was like a good drama. Yeah, I wonder if like what's this Devilman going to be like? I didn't think it would be so like emotional. Like
it was is super like, especially towards the end. Like
episode 9, it's like,
oh my God,
like they call this Devilman Crybaby for a reason.
Like so obviously Akira cries a lot through the show, which is like one of his trademark things. Is he's emotionally cares about people. That's why he cries a lot. So I didn't know what Crybaby was gonna be about it, but it also
you're gonna cry.
You're gonna cry. Like you're gonna get emotional. And I had tears streaming down my face at 9. Like it was setting it up at 9, and I was like, I know what's happening, but please don't do it. And they did it.
It's a very sad ending.
It's really sad.
The entire show, these characters are all so flawed, but you like them. Like that's something too. There's no fucking Gen Urobuchi ass good guy. Everyone is so flawed, and yet you feel for them so much. And then when you have to see them fail, it hurts. It does. And I did not expect that to come out of Devilman. Like I expected, like I'm not shitting on Devilman. I was expecting like kind of like a Hellsing type thing, where it's just a fun like action and exploitation, you know.
Yeah.
Because that can be fun. I don't care. Like, I love those OVAs.
Find this fun, you know.
But man.
But, oh my god, like, oh man, what was her? Oh, the other Mickey. Miko?
Yes, she's a totally made-up character. And
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, the thugs, too. Like,
yeah, I know. I didn't think they'd be that big in the show.
No, like,
I thought they were throwaway characters.
I did too, because like they're not in the manga, but they play. There are these thugs that keep showing up. Very different designs, but when they show up in the first episode, it's like they're gonna they're like kind of trying to like harass Miki, like.
They're kind of like as a means of like character development, show like, oh, like Akira's he's a better guy now, and he throw him away.
Well, no, they show up and they're like, hey, girly, come on, let's take a look up your skirt. And then Akira's like, you better not talk to her that way. And then they're like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm sorry. And he like cowers away. But then Miki slaps them and beats them up.
Yeah.
And she's always telling Akira to stand up for yourself. And they show up again throughout the manga, but they're always just thugs. And they're totally different character designs too. They don't look like the guys in this. Yeah. But like these thugs, like I felt for them. Like when that one guy does that, like he's trying to get the girl's attention and she doesn't like care. And he just does like a freestyle rap. And it's like, it's not cringy. Oh. Like he just does a freestyle rap and it's not cringy or anything. It's just like, holy shit, dude.
That rap is, here's the thing. The raps are annoying. Especially the Japanese ones. Because there's a couple of episodes where it starts with raps.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't like those?
I thought it's fine. But I think it went on too long, and I was like, all right, I get it. Like the English rap was good. That was great. I'm sure there's going to be someone on the internet that's going to take it and make an original song out of it. Because I think it was unlayered. But, yeah, Japanese one. Ugh.
You know, I think that it's because it's Japanese that maybe, like, it didn't connect with you. It didn't connect like with me anyway, but I thought like stylistically it was a really cool way to open the episodes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the way they do it. I just think it's too long.
Maybe if they dubbed them in English.
But they did one in English, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was like it was like a character's dialogue to another character.
Was that supposed to be a profession of love? I don't know what that was.
Yes, it was, of course. Like
it was great.
That character's name.
Whoever wrote that was good.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Like that.
I like rap.
That is not a straight translation because it rhymed too well.
Yeah, it did.
And it was for something that was obviously written in a different language and basically words had to be changed to make them rhyme. It was very well done. Yeah. That character's name was also Cocoon.
Cocoon.
Yeah, because it's one of the lines in the rap. He says like, I got butterflies on my fingers because he's got.
Oh yes, yeah, you're right. I did see that. So he calls himself Cocoon. Okay. Whatever happened to that dude? Because I honestly forgot.
I did not notice. Like I was very confused by that actually.
Because the last time I saw him he was in the store.
He was in the store and he's like, they got a gun.
Yeah, and he runs out, and that's it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I might have to go back because I feel like I'm gonna feel like an idiot. It's like, oh, it was obviously during the scene he went and did something, or like. Maybe there was a scene where he said like, sorry, Miki, I gotta go away forever, and I just missed it.
I don't know. I thought
when they brought in that runner Coda, I was like, wait a minute, is that him?
That's what I thought.
Okay,
is it him? And then it was like,
no, it's a different
Coda
character.
and Cocoon. They're two characters.
Yeah, they're different characters.
Yeah, that was weird. Go on that. What Coda? What do you think of Coda? What do you know of Coda aside from this?
I liked him until I think episode 9 is when he and I was like, where did that come from?
Was it 9 or it was 9? Yeah, it was 9.
Like, where did that come from? He has an immediate change of character where he's like, oh no, wait, I don't want to be on the losing side. It's like you were like a good guy, like
something changed. It was when the humans started kind of like turning on themselves.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I don't want to be on that side.
And the issue I have with that is that they mentioned that people become Devilmen, which are, the demons.
I loved that.
I thought that was really cool.
That was really cool.
I'm going to get to that where it's like Akira it's not that Akira's like special and he's like the only Devilman. A Devilman is demons try to possess humans. Yeah. And they like feed on the evil in them. Yeah. But if there's someone who has a pure heart, someone who's innocent, there's nothing to feed on, and the human has control of the demon, which is how it is in the comic, where Akira wears the mask, and because he's pure of heart, he can control the demon that inhabits him. Yeah. But since now there's no mask and basically demons are just leeching onto anyone that they find,
it's a matter of willpower.
Now you're seeing, there's a lot of people turning into demons, but there are also some people who are turning into Devilmen, where it's like,
which makes sense.
Like there are just other people who are innocent. Like,
like Akira's not the only good person in the world, so I'm like, that makes sense. So I'm like, at the end there, I'm like, oh, because it can't just be Akira versus everyone.
Yeah, no,
there's no way.
No,
you can't do that. Like, so yeah, I'm glad they went with that route. Yeah, is great towards the end. Episode 9 is just, I think, is that like one of your favorite episodes of the?
I feel bad calling it my favorite just because it's so fucking sad.
It is. And then 10 is just like
10 is just like, you've cried out all your tears. Now just watch the pain.
Yeah, that's 10 is the pain episode, or I think it's actually called Crybaby. 9 should be called Crybaby, because
9 was like, you will pay, you mortals, or something.
Yeah, you will pay, and that's what I think I actually like about that is the name of the episode is either the first or the last line of the episode. Have you
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they say the last or first line of the episode, and it's except for the last one. I don't know if they. Well, I'm sure they do. Crybaby. But yeah. So 9 was a big tier buster. Is there anything? What else?
Oh man. What else can I say other than that? If you've never seen anything Devilman related, watch this, because you don't.
What do you think of the voice acting?
I thought it was good. There were a couple of moments where Akira's voice actor, it sounded like he didn't emote enough.
Yeah, I get that.
I liked Rio. I think he's the guy. Is he voiced by the guy that voices 9S in?
Yes, he is.
He is? Okay.
Yes.
I thought so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
They both have that boy look, like not
innocent,
not a man, not a guy. It's a boy.
It's a boy. He's very innocent looking.
Yeah, he's got that boy look.
Yeah, he's that boy. Mickey was voiced by Christina V. I had no problem at all there.
She was very good, and in fact, I think, did she voice Miki in Cyborg 009 versus Devilman?
I don't know. You know who I can say, who I did find out in the cast credits, who was that character we were just talking about?
Rio?
Not Rio, the other Devilman.
Coda?
Coda. Bryce Papenbrook.
Really?
Yeah.
Bryce Papenbrook can surprise me.
Yeah. I couldn't tell at first, but later when his voice kind of changed a little bit, and I subtly noticed it, and I said, "Oh, that sounds like Bryce Papenbrook," and sure enough, it was. And he was the voice of Devilman in the Cyborg
009 versus Devilman.
So that was cool. They brought him back, just as a different Devilman.
Well, Christina V, I just checked. She is Miki in both OVAs.
What do you know? So they brought her back.
Yeah. So they thought she was really good at that, and I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because those two series cannot be in the same continuity. But
I believe the other Mickey Miko was Sharmi Lay, and I did not know. I could not tell.
Wow, she was.
Yeah.
Are you No, she wasn't. She was.
You sure? I'm pretty sure it was Sharmi Lay.
Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, she voices Makoto in Persona 5, right?
Yeah.
She was really good. She was
really good. I couldn't even tell it was her, but apparently it was. And I like her voice, so that fit pretty well. But yeah, I'd try to say the weakest performance was probably Akira, but it wasn't.
But he wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad. It was just.
I think he's better than the 009 versus Devilman, and a lot of people shit on that voice. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
When I first watched the OVA, I was very against it, but like watching through it dubbed a couple times, it's fine. Yeah. I think that Bryce Papenbrook is. A lot of people shit on him, and I'm not like.
You're gonna be one of those people?
I am. I kind of have been that person to shit on him, but it's like Sword Art Online. I heard in the episode. I watched the first episode of that dubbed because I wanted to see what that show was about.
Yeah,
and I hated him in that. I hated him in Attack on Titan. I hated him in Tales of Grace's F. I heard him in Ladybug and Cat Noir, the Nickelodeon show.
Sure,
yeah. He's really good in that. It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
and my thought was like, well, the thing with anime voices is that usually when you get a bad anime dub, it's not so much the actors as much as it is the director.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking possibly he just doesn't click with anime directors.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing maybe Nickelodeon has like more experienced people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Nickelodeon obviously makes more than anime studios.
Mm.
I don't think it's controversial to say that.
No, I agree.
And so maybe they just have more experienced directors who are better and can work with him more.
Yeah.
In this dub, he was fine. He was playing as a side character, though. He wasn't in the majority of the episodes.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's Netflix too, so I think Netflix has, well, actually, Aniplex had a hand in it too. So they, I don't know. Aniplex usually makes good dubs.
Do they? Did they do the Kill la Kill dub? I'm asking that because that's like a random dub that I listened to and was like, I'm not like, I wasn't a fan of the show, but I was watching that and I was like, you know, this dub is like, I'm totally cool with these voice actors.
It was licensed by Aniplex. I think it was done by Bang Zoom.
Oh, so they have like a, yeah, okay.
So yeah, I think they're in that same group, and I think this dub cast was a handful of Bang Zoom people plus some like new voices. Like obviously the guy that did 9S, I haven't heard of him in a bunch of anime. So they combined some game and video game. Overall, the dub was good.
Solid.
It was solid. It was really good.
Good.
I definitely had no problems with it. Now my thing is, are you gonna watch it in Japanese or any other language?
It's funny because I did jump to the Japanese track only when Rio was speaking.
Okay.
Whenever you saw Japanese subtitles at the bottom.
Yes.
Because that means he's speaking English in the Japanese dub.
Right.
So I was listening to that. His Japanese voice actor's English is pretty interesting, but
okay.
I don't think I need to hear it in Japanese.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with it in English.
Yeah,
I think it's a fine dub.
No problem with it.
No problem at all.
I am not a dub hater.
Yeah.
When I hate a dub, it is not because I hate dubs. It is because I hate those particular dubs.
Mm-hmm.
I always prefer to watch an anime dubbed.
Yeah, me too.
If it's available and, you know, not like
right.
a weird Hong Kong dub.
Yeah. So okay, so after the voice acting, the music, the score, what do you think of that? I mean,
this goes back to episode 9, but that song they play, maybe it's just because that was such a sad episode, but that song stuck with me.
Yeah, it did. I definitely like the what really got me pumped the first time was
the Devilman theme song.
The Devilman theme song with a new twist.
Yes,
to it. I loved that.
That was so good.
They played it at a really good moment. I think the first time they played it was
at like episode 2.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3. It was one of those two. But it was like a really weird moment they started playing, and it made sense. It was a good moment.
Is it when Akira like first gets his powers and he's like walking around, cool guy, like?
I think so.
Basically, like what I imagined they imagined the Spider-Man 3 emo scene. They're like where they imagine like, yeah, now Peter Parker's walking around and he's really cool. It's like only this is like he is cool.
He is like there's legit cool. They used that song I think about twice or 3 times within the entire series.
I would say 3 or 4 times because I think it's Miki's brother's ringtone.
Oh man, Miki's brother.
Holy
shit.
Miki, we forgot to talk about Miki's family. That's fucking sad as shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was like, no.
Like,
so, what's Miki's brother? What's his name?
Taro.
What happened in this anime? Does that happen in the manga?
He's not in the. As far as I know, he's not in the manga. Like I don't remember him.
I know what happens to him in the OVA because we've seen the OVA.
He's in the OVA.
Yes, he's in the
Demon Bird one. That's the second one from 1990.
Yeah, he's in one of the OVAs.
Really?
Yeah, and he does.
He's in Amon the Apocalypse. He's in that OVA, right? That's the one that has like the really brutal shit.
Yes, it's the brutal shit. And I don't know if we can say it. What happens in that one?
I mean, we can. I mean, it's the thing is that we're not holding back on that because it's a spoiler. We're holding back on that because it's repulsive.
Yeah, it is repulsive. No, I would say the OVA was more repulsive than what happened in this anime.
Well, yes,
but I would say it's more tragic what happens to.
And that's the thing is that like even though it's not as brutal as the stuff that happens in some of those exploitation OVAs, the fact that you care about these characters makes it so much more impactful.
I know. Like the OVAs, like it's really condensed, so you can get a sense for the character, but I feel like in this they're more expanded on.
And it's so goofy too. Like even without the goofy dub, like it's still Ryo Asuka shows up drinking, and he's got a gun in one hand, and he's like, come with me, Akira. My father's dead. There's demons. Put this mask on. It's still goofy.
The dub for the OVA
just makes it goofier.
Is really goofy, and the lines is really great. Now, actually, another thing I actually wanted to talk about, and I actually asked about this when you were watching the first 2 episodes, and comparing it to the OVAs, was swearing, and that's kind of like one of the things that the show is kind of known for.
So you know why they did that with the OVAs, right?
Explain. No.
So it's a process called I think it's called 15ing.
Okay.
I think now basically from what I understand is Central Park Media, who used to license all those like exploitation OVAs, they when they would dub them, they would always add in a ton of cursing to ensure that it got an R rating, and that the retailers that sold them would have to put them in the adult section.
Okay. Because
they were afraid that if there was a cartoon, a little kid would see it, and this isn't appropriate for a little kid, but at the same time, a teenager would go, "Oh, it's a cartoon. I'm not gonna buy that. It's a cartoon."
Yeah.
Because it was the late '90s, and not everyone knew what anime was, especially if you just walk into a retailer and you're looking for a movie. You're not gonna just randomly pick up a cartoon. So they would put a bunch of cursing in them, so that the retailers would have to put them in an adult section, like these are for basically selling them to people who are into exploitation movies.
Yeah.
Which is what they were really. Which is why you get scenes like in Cyber City Oedo, there is the excellent scene in Japanese where the character Sengoku is talking to the character Benton about their mission, and he says, "Did you hear on our next mission we're hunting vampires? This is pretty scary." And Benton replies, "Actually, the vampires of mythology were tragic creatures who had to lock themselves away in fear that they would consume the people that they love the most." And Central Park Media's take on that was, "Don't shit your pants if you see a vampire." Shut your goddamn mouth. You wouldn't know a fucking vampire if it jumped up and bit you on the end of your dick.
And you'd be
fucking dick. Yeah.
Fucking dick.
Yeah. So
you could just lay off.
So yeah.
So through the anime that we just watched, at the end, at the same time, I think it was like episode 9 or episode 8, towards the end, there were a couple of utterances of motherfucker at the end.
My reaction was, why did it take you this long?
Yeah. There's been shit going down.
Like episode 3 when they're like rescuing Miki.
Yeah.
And like those fucking like the creepy dudes in the suits that turn out to be demons. It's like when he like shoots the one guy, he should have been like, "Fuck you," or "Take this motherfucker." Like shit, instead he just goes like, "Hell." It's like, what?
Go like,
yeah, like
if you're gonna go out with violence, just add the swears.
And it's like
more natural.
We like, I know that we like spoke it up for being more of a drama than an exploitation thing, but like it does seem like they're holding back when they say like, "Damn it," to these intense things that are happening to them. Yeah. It seems like they should be like shit and fuck.
They should be as realistic as hell when it comes to those instances, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, it really wasn't. And I think maybe they were like, "Oh well, it's this is a more dramatic than exploitation, so we don't want to just make it like that old dub." But really, if they did it, it wouldn't come off like that. It wouldn't come off as silly.
No, it would add to it if anything.
It would just make it feel more serious, which it already does a pretty good job. But
because if it's not trying to be, obviously it's not trying to be goofy like the dub. It is it's downright depressing, like especially towards the end. But it's a dramatic anime. It's like it pounces on all of its cues when it's called for. I mean, like you said, the characters are something that you're so invested in that like when something happens to them, you're just like,
fuck.
Fuck.
We kind of got sidetracked talking about but Miki's family.
Oh yeah,
we're like
just
everything they do is just like, oh my god, I am so sorry. Like, oh my god, I love you people. Please no. Like her brother, who I thought was annoying. Like I think I felt more for the mother because I was like, that's totally something a mother would do. We're not gonna say what it is, but it's just it's very heart wrenching, and it's just like that is a sacrifice a mother would make, and it feels very realistic.
Yeah, it does. She does every rational choice that she does is obviously for her son, and you can tell she's really trying.
Yeah. And then the dad, and this is something that you wanted to say something to me about, but I was pointing out that they made her dad white. So her dad was originally Kozo Makimura, and he was just like a Japanese guy, but he's his name is Noel now, and he's a white guy. And they actually bring up that she's a foreigner. They show her getting bullied at school for being white.
Oh, yeah, Maki. Mickey.
Yeah, because the bullies are around her. I imagine in Japanese they were calling her a gaijin, because in the dub they're just going foreigner. It's like it's a fucking 5-year-old. But
yeah, I definitely agree with that. But my God, and was it? I'm not sure it was 8. I want to say it was 8 or 9 with the episode with the part with the dad.
The dad, that was
that scene went on for about 2.5, 3 minutes.
You mean when he's trying to, without spoilers, when he's trying to make the decision?
Yes, he is making the decision.
Oh my God.
He's going back and forth.
Yes.
And that is a real thing.
That is just like...
in a lot of anime, what they'll do is, he'll kind of go through that stage, and then just make a decision right then and there.
He'll just be like
5 seconds.
And he'll like narrate why he's doing it. He'll
right.
Be like, this is what has to be done for the greater good, even though I don't see the... It's like, no.
No, in this... he didn't. There wasn't that exposition.
You didn't need it.
See, I know you talked to me about this with a lot of anime where they talk down to you, where they have to tell you everything. No, this was just all like the expression, the music, the shots, the frames, like everything they did. Oh, you felt like you're in that character, like but.
And it's funny because each time he like goes like he's gonna do it, you're like, oh my God, he's gonna do it.
He can't do it.
You immediately know he's gonna do it, and then he doesn't do it, and you're like, I knew he wouldn't do it. And then he goes to do it, and you're like, I knew he would do it.
That was probably not the moment of the series where I'm like, no, but it was up there, obviously, because obviously we built so much momentum with these characters, but then after that it was like, no, like, God damn it. Like, if there's one thing at the end of this series that I think you know about this world is you just want to give a middle finger to everyone. You're just like, fuck everyone.
You deserved this.
Yeah, like, because it makes you think like, man, humans can be stupid.
So there's like something we totally neglected to mention. I think it's because there were so many like good and interesting things we wanted to talk about that maybe like we both just like pushed it to the back of our mind.
Yeah.
But like there's that one episode that just opens on hardcore gay sex.
It's a very sensitive issue.
Well, so here's the thing. It was just kind of like weird timing where after episode 5, because episode 5 is the one with Jinmin, and it has like the whole huge conflict with Akira's parents. And after I watched that episode, I said, oh my God, like, I want to tell someone to watch this show. Like, I just started going on Twitter and Discord and typing like, you guys got to watch this show. You got to start watching it now. And then I picked up the controller, hit play, and the next thing I see, fucking hardcore gay sex. And I'm like, I just told everyone in the world I'm watching this.
Does that make everyone gay?
No, I think it just makes me gay.
Yeah, I don't know. What were they trying to say with those scenes? Gay sex. I mean,
that's so
humans are just
no. Well, I thought it was done. It was fine because it was no different than how they would show a scene between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it wasn't exploitative. It was just more of to show the relationship between these two characters. If they were a man and a woman, they would do it the exact same way. So I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But so the guy in that, was that Kota, the racer? That was Kota, right?
I think it was Kota.
Yeah, it was Kota. Because it was meant to show that he had killed the person he loved, and he was upset about it. And it was to show that he had a heart, and that's why he could become
a devil man.
A devil man. So I thought it was effective. It was only confusing because I was like, wait, isn't that the rapper?
Oh yeah,
I think that's the only reason I was confused by it is because I thought he was the other character.
Yeah, they could have done a better job distinguishing the two characters because like I said, that one character just exited
especially
the
when
series.
like the Miko, when she shows up after when she shows up with her hair in a ponytail and she looks like a totally different character.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, did this guy just like change his hair too? Because they have the same color hair.
Yeah.
So I was like, did he just change his hair too and put on different clothes?
So, because the last we saw them, they were both attacked by a demon, right? That's how they became Devilman. But like I said, that other dude, we don't see him again. Like,
yeah, he's just
we think he went through a change because he was like more aggressive. He's a different character at that scene.
Yeah, he was like, they got a gun, and he was like trying to force police brutality.
Yeah,
and then
but he flies the scene, and we don't see him again.
Speaking of police brutality, do you remember? I don't know. Did you have like the subtitles on for when there's Japanese text? Did you see like the tweets and stuff online?
Yes.
Did you see the tweet where it's like there was one of Miki's tweets she's scrolling through says someone said I blame white people.
Yes.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny. They had to have some sort of joke in there. Yeah, the tweets. The tweets were definitely an integral part towards the end. I think it was very stupid of Miki to tweet that because
it worked.
It worked. It did somewhat work.
Don't knock it if it works.
But that also makes me raise the question: how many Twitter followers does she have?
She's a lot because she's the big like famous
track star.
Yeah, and she's on. Did you see the website she posts her pictures on?
No.
Nonstagram.
Oh my god.
Nonstagram. Yeah.
Instagram.
I took a screenshot of that where she got the picture of her with the glasses and the mustache.
Taking some good civil liberties with that show. That's another thing with mock platforms. The president was in this show.
Yes, and it was meant to be Donald Trump.
It was meant to be Donald Trump. I figured.
Yep.
It looked like him. So they're up to times. They're up to the times.
Yeah, it's definitely modern day. They have Nonstagram, obviously.
Nonstagram. Everyone uses that.
Everyone's on Nonstagram.
What did they call Twitter? Was it just Twitter, or is it?
I didn't catch a fake name for Twitter, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Yeah, see what that was. Those are the only two represented. Twitter and
Nico.
Oh yeah.
When they have the text going across the screen, that's Nico.
Nico. Yeah, the tweets were really funny. Some of them were just stupid. You know, like you said, like
I blame white people.
I blame white people. Some of them were just like kill her.
Yeah, like
you're ugly or something. I don't know.
It's like go have an orgy. Whore was like
yeah. It's
very like people would say all those things.
They were very triggered. They were very triggered by the devil.
It's just the fucking apocalypse. You don't need to be so hashtag triggered.
And that's a problem I do have with the series is obviously I get it. It's a drama. The things are gonna escalate, but they escalated way too quickly.
You think so?
Yes. The fact that no one, I mean, you also have the fact too that demons were also like kind of in control at this point. We saw what happened at the end.
They were winning the battle.
They were winning the battle. But the way how things escalated from demons are here to
they are everywhere.
They are everywhere, and
they have nuclear bombs.
They have nuclear bombs, and don't trust each other.
Yeah, no. Everyone is a demon.
Everyone is a demon. Basically,
don't go outside.
Just kill everyone. And I feel like in this, obviously it's Golden Guy's vision. I get it. But if this were a real life event, no one would be like, hey, just kill everyone. Just grab a knife.
Well, the thing is that the people saying that probably demons.
They're probably demons.
See,
which they're already ahead of the game.
That's
so
true.
They had it, and that's what I liked about this show too. Is you never know what side. There's like 3 sides, right? Like
yes, there's bad humans. There's just demons because there's no good demons, but there's the Devilmen who are like
Devilmen.
Who are like because like all the good people basically become Devilmen. So it's like you got the humans, demons, and Devilmen.
Devilmen. The humans want to kill everything.
Yes, the humans are like we don't trust anyone. They're most of them are on drugs. They mentioned that like there's been like a lot of drug craze going on, and as the demons attack, it is only getting worse, and people are tripping in the streets and stuff.
Well, they make a point in the show, because they talk about human nature, and obviously a lot of shows do this about this, but they say humans push everything to the back of their mind. They use they use drugs, sex, women to kind of push to the back of their mind. So when a crisis such as demons comes across, they want to push.
Yes, you're right. They do mention that. It's like when people are faced with something like that, they usually resort to, they say like drugs, alcohol, and gambling.
Yeah.
And yeah, so people are just losing it.
They're just losing it, and they lose control. And I think they said it from the OVA series, where I think there's a line that Akira says towards the end, especially after the scene that episode 9 ends on. He says, to the people, you guys are the real demons. And actually, was that a revelation they made in the show, that people are demons?
What do you mean?
They say people themselves are just demons. Like they are the demons. Like it's not like demons. I mean, demons have been around forever, but they attach themselves to organic beings to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And humans.
Oh, is it like they're just like they're naturally evil, but the demons only make it worse?
Yeah, like I guess. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is demons are a species before humans, but humans are kind of like the next stage of demons. So it's like demons are kind of like going on to humans, but it doesn't matter.
We are the real animals.
We are, yeah.
And
that's what they explained was, because I kind of got lost in translation where towards the end they were explaining how demons came about, but they showed dinosaurs.
That's from the manga, and that's actually the beginning of the very first OVA. Like it opens up with just like it doesn't look like Earth, but it's like it's like a planet with a bunch of mystical creatures and dinosaurs and stuff.
Right.
And then it shows like demons like consuming them.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was actually surprised they included that, because I was, since we didn't see it at the beginning, I was like, oh, they just skipped over it, but they moved it to the back, which makes more sense, where they're basically talking more about the demon mythology.
Now, you mentioned they combined the show.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, really? Oh, excellent. Cool.
Okay.
So, you said, I think in a tweet you said, or something you posted, that they combined a lot of elements from previous works of Devilman. What I'm interested in knowing is, because I've never seen the live action.
That's what people were asking me.
Is what live action stuff was incorporated?
There, because 2004 or 2005, there was a live action Devilman movie made in Japan. And it's considered to be one of the worst movies ever made. It won the Japanese equivalent of a Razzie, which is the awards for worst movies and worst actors.
Yeah.
What they incorporated is the whole Miki and Akira being on the track team. That's from the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's a pull.
And they really pushed that.
Yes, they made a theme out of it. That was very good.
Passing the baton.
Yeah, it's like passing the baton and always running away, and
it just makes me think about the ending.
But what they didn't keep was the stupid shit. Like when Rio actually goes in that movie. Rio is one of their classmates, and he gets expelled because like he finds out like a guy picked on Akira, so he like goes into the classroom with hedge clippers and cuts the guy's fingers off.
Yeah. Oh man.
So they didn't keep the stupid shit, which man, they did a real good job with this.
They really did. Like I don't usually go back to watch anime for a second time, but I think I might, just so I can pick up some stuff I missed. Maybe
I need to step back from this show a little bit. And like I heard someone I follow said that was a good show, but I think I'm done with it. I don't want to watch it again. And I can kind of get that, just because it's like it hurts. It hurts.
Why would you go back and hurt yourself again? I get it.
But I think it's so well done, I can't say that I wouldn't rewatch it.
If it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray,
definitely,
it's an automatic buy.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean,
if you told me it's going to be on Netflix forever and I'd always have access to it, I'd still buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was very surprised. 10 episodes, I was like, how are they going to do everything in 10 episodes? Like 12, 12, 13, but 10, I'd never seen. I thought maybe they'd be long episodes, like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I was curious what the runtime was going to be, and when I saw it was 25, I was like, okay,
let's see what they can do.
Let's see what they do.
But first, second episode, we got that pace. We're like, oh, we know where it's going. It's going to get there. Especially towards episodes 6 and 7, I was like, didn't they just go through everything? Like, they're not going to get to the parts I think they're going to get to, are they? And then 7 rolled around. I was like, oh.
Is 7 the one at the triathlon or the arena?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know where they're going with this.
Fucking
and then
Rio.
8 happened, and I was like, no, they're going to do it. And then the 9 was just,
and 9 just makes you feel horrible.
9's horrible, and 10's just like, get it over with. Just go. Get it over with.
It can't hurt me anymore. I really like that fight where all the Devilmen are supporting Akira.
Yes. And the final fight between, can I say who the final villain is?
You can say that it's Satan.
It's Satan. That's fine.
That's
I liked Satan's character design.
yeah.
I had seen it from the manga.
Yeah, that's how he looks in the manga.
Yeah, it looked very
only
faithful.
with manga Ryo Asuka's head on him, so it looks silly.
Oh yeah,
he's got that silly ass face.
The manga does look silly. But I love the final fight. Would you say that's longest fight, or would you say that still belongs to the siren fight?
Actually, you probably that final episode fight.
It's probably it's the anticlimactic battle. I loved how they had a use. Was it the other Devilman, or was it just demons
that could merge?
They merge, like take my hands.
Siren does it, and I thought that was awesome when that one guy is just like, I know I will die, but I will do anything to support you, Siren, and she just fuses with him.
But she was so damaged that she was gonna die.
Yeah, but he died in giving her his body. And then that's why in the fight, that's why they die in the end, is because Siren was so injured, the body was just to prolong her life a little bit.
Yeah, and so she did was like a ramming.
I'm pretty sure that fight in the manga, I thought it was that he turned to stone in the sunlight, but I think that in the manga it was they switched out the character, so
they just froze.
Yeah, it wasn't Siren. If I remember right, I think it was like a centaur guy. Which is kind of what they look like after they merge.
Yeah, after they merge, it's basically a centaur.
If I remember right, I think it was like a centaur guy, and then I feel like he turned to stone in the sunlight, and that was how they beat him.
Yeah, I remember that from the OVAs that they froze or something like that. Yeah, that final fight was definitely something. It's sad, but I think. No matter what, I think 9 is definitely the saddest. Like 10 is sad, but 9 is the saddest.
You worked your way up to 9, and then it just
unloads. Then you just fall apart. Let me get your take on not Akira, but the other character,
Rio.
Yeah, what do you think of Rio? Yeah, the entire series.
I knew where he was gonna go.
Yeah,
so I thought it worked. I definitely thought it worked. Because he always feels underhanded.
Yeah, he does.
And I thought it was funny that in the Cyborg 009 versus Devilman OVA, which people criticized for having way too much Cyborg 009, I agree with that. But I'm a bigger fan of 009, so I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But it did favor them. And is that Rio is not his normal character in that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because there's so much to his character they could not incorporate it. Like, he has to be.
He's not a black. Well, he is very black and white, right?
Yes, and he's
like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
He's insane.
Yeah,
and he
is a sociopath.
Yes.
Which you kind of saw early glimpses of it in the first couple episodes.
From the very beginning, you can see
very beginning. Yeah, you're just like. He's got
he
good intentions.
I mean, episode 3 when they saved Miki in that scene, he was like,
"Oh, he's got to kill her."
Yeah, he's like, "You got to kill her, Akira.
Yeah.
What are you doing?" Like,
yeah, that reminds me of the scene with the woman in the house where they barge in. They're like, "Oh, we're
yes."
And at first, because my first instinct was like, "Yeah, he's gonna do something to that woman," because like he can't have anyone know the secrets. But he's like, no.
He gives her money. And he's like,
you
didn't see us.
Yeah, you're good. And then I think it's towards the end of the episode.
And then he does kill her.
He does kill her. I'm like, what the hell? So right then, that was like solidified. It was like, yeah, he's fucking. He's got something up his sleeve there. But then. Oh yeah. Probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
So we've pretty much gone through everything with this series. John, what are your closing thoughts?
Watch this series. If you've never seen Devilman before, you don't need to know anything going in. Other than that, you're going to be very sad, and you're going to really like these characters.
Yeah, I'm going to mirror that. It is a really, really great show. I haven't felt this way. Really good about an anime.
We talked about this where it's like we both said like you don't get shows like this. Like
yes, we haven't had a show like this where we've come out like super excited. Like this was really great. And then the last time for me it was Steins Gate. And that was a while ago. I came out really excited. What was the last show you watched where you were like super excited.
You know, I walked out of Kaiji feeling this way. I was so invested in the show and the characters, and I wanted to see what happened to them, and I wanted to see them win. And Kaiji's kind of the same way, where you want them to win so bad, and when they don't, it tears you apart.
Yeah. No, yeah, this series was great. I definitely recommend going out. If you have a Netflix subscription, definitely watch it. It's 10 episodes. We did it in one night. One night. But like we mentioned, episode 9, watch out, because you're gonna break apart. It's bad. Not bad. It's great.
It's funny because episode 9, the episode with the father, that's episode 8, right?
That's episode 8.
Oh, so man. So you're gonna see 8, you're gonna be like, oh my god,
I can't do it. And then 9 comes, and you're gonna shut it off and be like, I can't do this again. But 10, you just gotta wrap it up and call it a day, and that's Devilman. And then read the manga.
You don't even need to read the manga.
Yeah, don't even have to read the manga.
My laptop died, so I'm on this mic now.
Oh, interesting. Well, we're pretty much done anyways, but yeah, anything else?
Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe.
Like, favorite, and subscribe. You heard that first, folks. Thank you very much for listening to our first take on Devilman, the Netflix series. My name is Nick, Throne of Cypher.
I'm John.
That's all you need to know.